And one thing I got to say when it comes to Caitlyn Clark. Did we see what happened in that game? I'm going to see if I can get the clip what happened right before. What happened right before Caitlyn's flagrant fell. I want to see if I can get the clip up. So right before the flagrant fell, if you guys didn't see, Angel shoved Aaliyah. Angel shoved Aaliyah Boston. And like, Kate, last year, the way people were asking for Caitlyn Clark to get an enforcer? Caitlyn was the enforcer. Caitlyn was the enforcer today. Like, everyone's talking about, oh, Caitlyn Clark was the enforcer, or like needs an enforcer. Today, she was Aaliyah's enforcer. Caitlyn got her back, and we know what Caitlyn Clark was doing. She tried to stop Angel getting a basket, and she saw she had a chance. She saw she had a chance to have a hard take foul. Like, that's all I'm going to say. It's just a, like, night and day difference. Like, Caitlyn would have done that. There was a little bit extra oomph. There was extra oomph in it. And look, you can say what you want about it. It is a fact. There was a little bit of extra oomph in that. Whether Angel flopped, which she 100% did, Angel 1,000,000% flopped. I gotta say, Angel 1,000,000% flopped. The Sky having the best bench. Sky were terrible today, just all around. But at the same time, Caitlyn did. It was a hard foul. It was a hard foul. It was a flagrant foul. Like, and Caitlyn goes and does that. Like, I'm just in shock because we saw last year Caitlyn being the one that was getting hit. And you know what? Caitlyn is stronger. She's stepping up. She's getting stocks. People are trying to back her down. They can't. And someone said she shoved it in the back of her left hand. Yeah, but I mean, she went flying. Like, she didn't shove her hard enough to go flying. Like, exaggerated the contact. Sorry. By flopping, I don't mean that there was no contact. There was contact. She exaggerated the contact. But it is like, I'm looking at this Fever team, and Caitlyn doesn't need an enforcer anymore. They have Sophie Cunningham. And this Fever team, and this is the one thing I've really noticed, is that hard fouls, all of this stuff, the Indiana Fever seem to thrive in that. They were down 18 points. They were down 18. Like, 18 when Sophie Cunningham got suplexed by Kikiria Fenn. And you know what happens? You know what happens after Sophie, or after that? They came back and won the game. They came back and won. And today, this was a 10-point game after that. And Caitlyn knew what she did. Caitlyn knew what she did. Flagrant foul. Call it. Refs did a good job. Refs did the right thing. They made the call. It's over with. They got in the Chicago Sky's head. And as much as people want to say that, oh, like she's mini Taurasi and stuff, we can't forget who Diana Taurasi's, who was almost Diana Taurasi's protege in terms of just the mentality of Taurasi. Sophie Cunningham is an instigator. And I understand why every single team in the WNBA hates Sophie Cunningham. I understand. If you are a fan of any team other than Fever, I would understand. And again, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Subscribe. We are trying to hit 46,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And if you guys are in the stream right now and you want to stay on for these breakdowns and gameplay watch-alongs, but Sophie Cunningham is hated, and she's hated for good reason. You say what you want, she's hated for good reason. She is an instigator. She is, you could argue, dirty. Marina Mabry's like that. I agree. Sophie Cunningham's worse than Marina Mabry. You can hate her. We're seeing Caitlyn Clark turn into a mini Diana Taurasi before our eyes. And I don't think she's going to go quite as crazy as Taurasi. She's not going to go and kiss a player on the court. She's not going to do something like that. But I have to be honest here. And on the court, she's probably going to be better than Taurasi. This is a Caitlyn Clark game where she only took 13 shots. And now you've got a team. No one's messing with Natasha Howard. Nobody's messing with Dewana Bonner. Nobody is messing with Sophie Cunningham. Or people are probably messing with Sophie Cunningham, but she instigates it. And now, if Caitlyn Clark has put a bit of a target on her back from the Chicago Sky, and I hope she has. I hope the Chicago Sky, I hope they be as physical with Caitlyn Clark as she was to them. And again, I mean this when I say this. Any hits to the head, any hits, shoves from behind, no go. But if someone wants to commit a take foul on Caitlyn Clark from the Sky, you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. You never go to hurt somebody, obviously. But this is a player who got flagrantly fouled, by the way, 4 times by the Chicago Sky. She got flagrantly fouled 4 times. And you know what? You know, last season, the Chicago Sky had Mabry. They had Kennedy Carter. They had Angel. They went out to try punk Caitlyn Clark. And again, Kennedy Carter went too far, but they went out to try be physical, rough up Caitlyn Clark. And I mean that in a basketball way. Anyone who thinks that anything other than the Kennedy Carter shot wasn't basketball, words are going to be, the Diamond to Shields foul was just trying to, Diamond to Shields wasn't trying to hurt Caitlyn, she was trying to knock her on her ass. There's 2 different things. If you've played ball, you know what the difference is. You know what the difference is. And you want to know what happened today? The Indiana Fever physically bullied the apparently soft Chicago Sky. The soft Chicago Sky. They looked soft. Last year's Chicago Sky and Teresa Weatherspoon were tough. This team is better. This team is much better on paper. They're much more skilled and much more talented. But they're not as tough as they were last year. And this Indiana Fever team, if this Fever team turns into a mini version of the Mercury last year, but not quite as bad, that might be the best thing, because chaos is the best. The Indiana Fever thrive in chaos. And if the Indiana Fever can manage to create chaos in a game, they're going to win. Which is going to happen when you have instigators. It happens when you have enforcer-type players. If you can create chaos, you're going to win an awful lot of games when you play like the Fever do. So, yeah. That's pretty much it.